Reading a play in English. Action! Welcome to Jen's Jyugyou. My name is Jen, and today I'm going to teach you how to read a play in English. You'll also learn some really helpful theater-related vocabulary. To help you understand about reading plays in English, I've chosen two of my favorite plays as examples. King Lear, which is my favorite Shakespeare play, and The Drawer Boy, which is my favorite play and my favorite Canadian play. I highly recommend you read this play. When you're reading a regular book, we will call the writer an author. But in the case of plays, we have a specific term called playwright. A playwright is a person who writes a play. So Shakespeare is one of the most famous playwrights in English. When you are reading a play, it's important to notice the setting of the play. Setting means where the story is taking place. For example, is it taking place on a farm? Is it taking place in a palace or in the forest? What is the setting, the location where the play happens? Setting is different from the word set. When we talk about theater and plays, the set is what is on the stage to represent the setting. For example, maybe you have fake walls, which are called flats in theater. Maybe you have different types of furniture like chairs and tables. These are all part of what we call the set. The furniture and backdrops on a stage when you watch the play are the set. The set helps to show you what the setting is. Another really useful thing which you might see listed in some plays when you read them is a list of props that are needed for the play. A prop is a physical object or item that the actors will use on stage. For example, maybe they need a mirror or a sword or a sandwich. This item that they are using on stage with their hands is called a prop. Another thing you might be able to find at the beginning of a play is a list of costumes or costume ideas. In our daily life, the things that we wear are just called clothes. But when you are performing on stage, the clothes that you wear are called costumes. When you read a play or when you read a story, it's important to take note of the characters in the story. Characters mean the people who are in the story, the people who speak and move and do the actions to progress the plot of the show. Most plays at the very beginning will have a list of characters. So in my favorite play at the beginning, there's a list of characters. There's only 3 characters in this play. In King Lear, there's a list of characters and there's over 20 different characters in this play. You might say that you are playing the part of, and you say the character's name, or if you're just reading the part of and the character's name. So if I was going to perform King Lear, I would love to play the part of Cordelia. Similarly, you could also use the expression perform the role of. So each of the characters, when you're actually performing the play, is called a role. I'd like to do the role of Cordelia. Unfortunately, there are no roles or no parts for me in The Drawer Boy because it's an all-male cast. Cast means the actors or actresses and performers who are acting and performing within the play or within the TV show or movie. The other people who are working as a part of the play is called the crew. So your director, stage manager, wardrobe person, assistant stage manager, all those people are called the crew. So to perform a successful play, you need cast and crew. The things that characters say within a play are called lines. So when an actor is getting ready to perform a play, they need to memorize their lines, meaning they need to memorize what the characters are saying. In a play, you can tell whose line it is because it'll just have the name of the character, usually in kind of like the margin area, and then it'll have what that character is saying. Then the next character's name and what they are saying. And it continues like this throughout the script. In a play, there are actually 3 types or 3 categories of lines that you might come across. The main type is a dialogue. A dialogue means 2 or more actors, 2 or more characters are speaking to each other. It's a back and forth conversation. We'll call this a dialogue. If there is just one character talking for a really long time, they have a very long speech, we call this a monologue. Similar to a monologue, in a lot of Shakespeare plays specifically, we have something called a soliloquy. A soliloquy is a type of monologue, except it's a type of monologue where the character is expressing their innermost thoughts or their innermost feelings. A soliloquy is not meant to be heard by the other characters within the play. Whereas a monologue is because that person is usually having their really long speech talking to one of the other characters. So those are the 3 main types of lines that you will find in a play: dialogues, monologues, and soliloquies. Another really important feature about plays that you need to pay attention to when you are reading them is the stage directions. The stage directions are usually written in italics, which means like slanted letters like this, and it shows what the characters are doing on stage. In The Drawer Boy, near the beginning of the play, the stage directions say, Angus goes inside, Miles waits. Angus heads across the room. He notices the sandwiches, and this stops him. Those are stage directions. Characters don't say these lines. When you see the play, you won't hear these lines. You'll just see this action happening. Sometimes within the stage directions, there are a couple of words which might be confusing if you're not familiar with theater. Those words are upstage, downstage, center stage, and offstage. Center stage is probably the easiest one to understand because it's literally the center of the stage. Upstage means the farthest part away from the audience. In the past, stages used to be raked, meaning they were on a slant, so the stage would literally be up higher than the other part of the stage. Now the stage is flat, but we still call the part farthest away from the audience upstage. The part of the stage that's closest to the audience we call downstage. So if I need to go over here, I might say, oh, I'm going downstage left. Or over here, I'm going upstage right. Sometimes you will see stage directions written like that. When you are reading a play, the characters' lines and the stage directions are divided in 2 different ways. The main way that a play is divided is into acts. An act is a division or a section of the play which helps to tell one main part of the story. These days, the majority of plays that are written have 2 acts. When you're watching a play, usually you have the first act, then an intermission, which means a break where you can go to the washroom and buy a snack and drink, and then you have the second act. However, in a lot of Shakespeare plays, there are many acts. King Lear, for example, has 5 acts. Within each of these acts, a play is further divided into scenes. A scene specifically will take place in one time period in one location. When you change to a new time period or change to a new location, then the scene will also change. Basically, your play is divided into acts, and each of the acts is divided into different scenes. So today, you learned some useful theater vocabulary and you've learned how to read plays in English. I hope this lesson will inspire you to go and read some plays. Please check out my favorite play, The Drawer Boy, if you get a chance. I'll put a link to this play in the description below. And now it's time for Question of the Day. Today's question is, please describe your favorite play in the comments below. Try using some of the vocabulary from this lesson to talk about the play. Thank you so much for watching this lesson. If you found it useful, please subscribe to Jen's Jyugyou and give this video a thumbs up. Good luck with your English studies. See you in the next lesson.